I'm Rainer.
Hi. I'm Paige. Nice to meet you. Sorry if my hands are a little clammy. I actually am really nervous because this is my first audition. Actually, second if you count the one I just had yesterday. And if my best friend Cassandra was here, she'd pinch me so I'd stop talking like a nervous goober. Did I just say goober?
Do you want me to pinch you?
No. Maybe. No. Actually, no.
Hey, can we start?
Give us a second. Can I tell you something? You're really special.
Thank you.
We got this.
Yeah, I think we do.
We're ready when you are.
I can't forget the past, Noah, because that's like saying it never happened. That's a lie.
So what are you saying? We're over? Is that what this is? I came back. Isn't that enough?
Look, I can't be with you unless you can forgive me.
But I do. Forgive you.
Okay, well, thanks. Those doors.
Who was that?
Let's keep it going for Carter.
Thank you.
Well, thanks so much for joining us today.
I'm so happy to be here. Hi.
Got some fans in the audience.
Yeah, we met earlier. How's it going?
You know, so you've got fans from Valentine's Day and Aliens in the Attic, but a whole new audience is about to know your name when Famous in Love premieres next month. I've seen the pilot and I'm already obsessed. It's like a teen version of A Star is Born. I'm very here for it.
Yeah.
So give us a little breakdown. What can we expect from Famous in Love?
Well, Famous in Love is like the dream of becoming a superstar. Just an ordinary girl played by Bella Thorne who gets cast in a big movie like Twilight. I play an already existing movie star who she co-stars with, and they fall in love. It's in the title. Yeah.
Spoiler alert. Yeah. Yeah, tell us more about Rainer Devon. So you said he's this heartthrob and this teen romance fantasy franchise. Like, what would his Tinder bio be?
His Tinder bio? Oh, gosh, I think Rainer, I don't think he'd be on Tinder. What would his Tinder bio be? That's amazing. I mean, I think he doesn't need a bio because Rainer's like an international superstar. People wouldn't believe it's him, I think, if he was on Tinder. But he would do real well on Tinder, I'm sure.
And he has some like bad boy vibes too. He has a bit of a past that he's trying to rehabilitate.
Yeah, Rainer was born into Hollywood. His mom's a super producer, played by Perry Reeves, who was Mrs. Ari on Entourage. And now she's like taking the Ari role. She's in the power position now. And, you know, Rainer's got nepotism on his side. She's, you know, helped him become a star. But he's good in his own right because I think nepotism only gets you so far. You have to have something to back it up. But he's good at being famous. You know, some actors are better at being famous than others. And, you know, it's interesting. I had to look at a lot of celebrities and you know, in studying to prepare for this role. I looked at guys like Zac Efron and Robert Pattinson.
I was going to say those two exactly.
Yeah?
Yeah, giving off major Pattinson vibes.
Oh, okay, good. That's great.
Did you draw from your own experience at all, being in the public eye?
Yeah, I mean, I've been an actor for 15 years in LA. I'm not an international superstar.
Yet.
I like this guy. But I know what it's like to be an actor, and I know, the highs and lows of the business. And I've seen my friends, get that job that launches them into superstardom, and then I've seen them fall. I've seen the ups and downs, and I've definitely seen the good and the bad of it all.
Yeah, to me, the show is so much about how fame sort of distorts reality and how it changes your relationships with your friends and family. So I'm curious, what do you think Famous in Love really captures about the experience of being a celebrity?
Well, you're going to see a girl who is launched into this life and what that does to her friendships. And there's nothing, you can do to prepare for that, I think. It's hard for everyone in your life because fame is a funny thing. It does distort reality. And I don't know what the question was. What was the question?
How Famous in Love sort of captures that experience of suddenly being famous and all the craziness that comes with it.
Yeah. Well, you're going to see all of it. You're going to see, my character's already a movie star. You're going to see other movie stars, and then this girl that's going to become a big deal. It definitely depicts every angle of it all.
Yeah, and so the series sort of hinges on this moment where Bella Thorne's character gets the call that she's made it into the franchise. And it got me thinking, do you pinpoint, is there a moment in your career that you pinpoint that changed everything for you, that sort of put you on a new level in terms of your career-wise?
Well, look, ordinarily it doesn't go like this. It does happen. They do worldwide searches and then cast someone to become the next big deal. But usually it's a lot of hard work. It's a grind. You're getting rejected and you're studying hard, and then you're getting a small gig, and then it's like a slow, steady climb. That's been my career anyway. I've definitely taken the stairs, but there is a time occasionally when someone gets an elevator ride to the top. My character Rainer sort of has taken an escalator, I think, because of his mom. But what was the question? This keeps happening.
It's okay. Well, when we were talking backstage, I was telling you that it's been a little bit since I've checked in on Freeform. Yeah. Last time I knew it was ABC Family, and this is not ABC Family anymore. There's people making bad decisions, there's sex, there's people drinking. So it's fun to see this series sort of push the envelope of maybe what's appropriate for this audience. Because the first time we meet your character, he's sort of shirtless, making out.
I'm naked in half of the TV show. Yeah. All right.
You got a fan.
Great. Yeah, it's true. It's pretty scandalous. It's sexy. It's not ABC Family anymore.
So we're not expecting Famous in Love to play it safe at all, right?
I mean, no. Bella's character starts and she's very pure and innocent. I don't know how long that's going to last. Not in Hollywood. But my character's already, my first scene, I'm half naked. Yeah. It's okay.
We ain't mad. Well, considering this show is developed by Pretty Little Liars Queen Marlene King, who's had so much success at the network, I imagine, there's a lot of confidence behind the scenes that, this is going to be a hit.
Looks good on paper, doesn't it? Yeah, Marlene King is a powerhouse. She knows how to make television, and she knows how to make, she knows how to hook an audience. And this story is based on a book by Rebecca Serle. I was hooked when I first read about it, and then read the novel. And I think it's all there. I hope people like it. I know I'm very proud of it, and I'd watch it. It would be a guilty pleasure of mine, but maybe not even guilty. I don't know why you have to feel guilty about it.
No, let's not feel guilty. Let's just watch.
Enjoy it.
What is it like working with Marlene King? I mean, she's coming from Pretty Little Liars. Were you a fan of that show at all?
Yeah, I grew up with Ashley Benson and Lucy Hale. They were friends before that show, because I remember they would hang out together. They came to my house, as kids. And I used to have these poker parties. like a bunch of 14-year-olds playing poker. It was so silly. Just like very low buy-in, $20. But then it would turn into a party, and we'd have just half of young Hollywood there. It was so funny. But Lucy and Ashley were friends back then, even before the show. And yeah, I saw them like go and do this show that blew up, and I watched it for them. But it is addicting. And we shot this show right next to them. We shared a base camp with them. And so I'd bump shoulders with them all the time.
Oh, that's so nice. I like imagining this sort of free-form community where you're all like rubbing shoulders and like saying hi to each other on the lot.
It's exactly how it happened. Yeah.
Wait, so you knew each other from what? Just being in the business at a young age?
Yeah, you meet people in acting class or auditions. Most of my friends are actors. I don't know. Just how it happens.
Well, speaking of Pretty Little Liars, that show has some of the more calculating, crazy mother figures we've seen on TV, but yours might take the cake. Your mom sort of controls your career with an iron fist.
Yeah.
Like assaults a paparazzi member in the pilot. So what can we expect from this mother-son dynamic moving forward?
Oh, it gets good. That is, he's got some serious mommy issues. And one hell of a stage mom, who happens to be like one of the most powerful people in Hollywood. So that relationship was really fun to play. Perry Reeves, who played Mrs. Ari, she's incredible. Yeah, I don't know. It gets crazy though. It gets so crazy that relationship. I don't know how to not give it all away, but it's so good. Yeah, because that really she's his mother, but also she's a single mother. So at times he sort of takes on the responsibility in this complicated dynamic of like a husband and also like a father. It's very, and then also she's his boss, but he's her movie star. So it's a very strange relationship.
I've always been curious about that sort of momager, actor dynamic. Are your parents supportive of your career?
They're very supportive. I'm lucky. I think being an actor is a very challenging endeavor, and I've been very fortunate to not have the obstacle of, unsupportive parents. I wanted to be an actor from when I was 7 years old in Florida, and then I moved out to LA to really pursue it when I was 10 years old. With my family, and my mom was my manager for a long time, and so I really do know what it's like to have this complicated relationship. Yeah. But they're very involved in my career, and they've experienced all the lows and the highs with me. When you don't get the job, they felt the pain, and when in a moment like this, I'm sure hopefully they're watching. Hey, Mom.
Yeah, they must be happy now.
Yeah, I hope so.
And of course, we have to talk about Bella Thorne, the star of the show. Yeah. We love her over at HuffPost and AOL, and she's so brave and honest on social media, especially.
Totally.
So now having worked with her, I'm wondering, is there a side to her that we haven't seen yet?
Well, you see a lot of her on Snapchat. You see a lot of sides of her.
Yes.
The other day, I was walking down the street, and I was recognized just from being on her Snapchat.
Really?
Maybe the highest point of my career is being on Bella Thorne's Snapchat. It's no coincidence that she's playing this part as a girl who becomes a superstar, because she really is. She's got it all. I've seen it up close and personal. I've seen her just blow me away with her work. She's really got it. Beyond being very bold, she's outspoken. She says what she's thinking. You can't stop watching her Snapchats because you're like, what the heck is she gonna say next? But she's really got it. She's a great actress.
And you two have such great chemistry on screen. There's this moment where they first lock eyes in the show, and you just feel it. You feel the chemistry there. So you're on her Snapchat. You guys are hanging out. I see on social media. You must be getting along pretty well off set too.
Yeah, I met Bella in a very similar situation as that clip you just saw, in that audition. So I was testing for a movie that she was starring in, but the roles were reversed because she had this movie. And I went and auditioned with her. And in this scene, my character kisses her. And I didn't know if I should. Auditions are weird. You don't know if you're supposed to kiss or not. You should probably talk about it before, but I forgot. We didn't do it. And so then in that moment, I didn't kiss her. And then I didn't get the part. I was like, I should have kissed her. Maybe that would have helped. But I'm glad I didn't, because then Famous Love came around not long after that, and this was more fitting for me. And anyway, so I've known her for a little while, and I've gotten to know her pretty well, and she's got quite a story. Yeah, she's incredible.
You know, and you two strike up some sort of relationship in the show. We won't spoil it yet, but there's a bit of a power dynamic going on because you're her celebrity crush, basically. So she's, immediately starstruck by you, can barely get out a sentence. So in the coming episodes, are we going to see that power balance shift a little bit as her star begins to rise?
Yeah, I think there's this thing where you meet a famous person and you're starstruck, but then pretty quickly they demystify themselves and they're just a human. So quickly the image falls away and they're just two people and they get to know each other very well. When you're making a movie with someone, you spend a lot of time together. And this show's so meta because Bella and I are spending all this time together, so we're getting to know each other just as Rainer and Paige are getting to know each other. It was a very strange show to make because it's about the making of a movie. So we're on the set of Famous in Love, where we're on the set of Locked, which is the movie that we're making in the show. So there were times where we'd, hair and makeup would come and do last looks. The director would call action, and then hair and makeup would come and do last looks, and then the director would call action. So I'm Carter, and then I'm Rainer, and then I'm Noah. It's like an inception of going deeper into this show, and it was confusing at times. One time I think I called Paige Bella, and then when she's supposed to be Paige, then I called August Paige. It's just very confusing.
Yes, very meta getting on Famous in Love here.
Oh, yeah.
Is there anyone in Hollywood now that would make you starstruck in a similar way that Rainer makes Paige? Is there like a celebrity crush you're harboring?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think it would have to. I think it's Natalie Portman. I've always loved her. She's incredible. She's so talented and smart and beautiful. She's the real deal. Some maybe Natalie, but there's so many. I am just really deep down just a kid who loves movies and is fascinated by it all. So I get starstruck all the time, but I play it cool. You got to play it cool. You really do. They don't like it if you I was at a party recently, and it was like an Oscar party. So everywhere you look, there's movie stars, and it's just, they're just people, but come on.
If you see Natalie Portman in a room, I'm freaking out, so.
I don't know, how do you even say hello? I had to work on it.
And something I also appreciate about the show is it sort of explores this intersection of media and celebrity and how each fuels the other. In your career, have you ever read anything about yourself that you're like, what? Like any sort of shocking, inaccurate information? Not yet, I don't think. There's a couple of these websites that project how much actors have, and they always overshoot it by $3 million. We're pretty much poor unless you're a big star. So there's that. But I write a lot of sort of celebrity entertainment news. So I'm curious from the other side, even if it's not directly about you, are there things that you see that frustrate you or you think, aren't sort of the best journalism practices? What would you like to see more of when news sites cover stars or shows like Famous in Love or Bella Thorne, for example? What do they get wrong, I guess, is what I'm asking. I guess I don't read those very much. Is that what you do? Yes, that's all I do.
That's an interesting question. I don't know. I don't know the answer. Any ideas?
Because there's a figure in the show that's really spreading some lies about you.
That's true.
Sort of to propel himself forward.
Yeah, yeah.
And I know, there's a lot of frustration with clickbait and, fake
Oh,
news and
right.
stuff like that. And I
Fake
imagine
news.
on the other side, as being a celebrity, it must be really frustrating to
But I'm not a celebrity.
read these.
I don't know what
put
this is
yourself
like.
down like that, Carter.
I don't know what that's like. I don't know. No, everyone's so nice. I don't know. They just say things that are true. We'll talk later. We'll see if that changes.
Well, good. I'm glad we've treated you well. And so we have a couple audience Q&As, but before we get there...
I'm really afraid of that, actually.
What?
Not that part, but just like so far, everyone's very nice on Instagram. The comments are always pretty pleasant. I know that changes, eventually. We'll see.
I mean, gauging, first of all, the show so far, and your fan base already, I'm sure you're going to have an easy ride. But you seem less confident.
I'm nervous. I don't know.
Be
Look,
nervous.
I'm just an actor. I just think about acting. So all that other stuff, no one teaches you about it. You don't know how to prepare for it, which is why it makes for an interesting topic to make a show about.
Exactly. And so looking ahead to this season, I know you can't give too much away, but are we in store for some big, juicy twists? What can we expect?
Oh my gosh, Marlene King, of course you're in store for some big juicy twists. Yeah. It's a wild ride. It's juicy. It's sexy. Yeah. Wow, I don't know. I was recently watching one of those E! True Hollywood Stories, and I was realizing that this is something that really happens, and you often don't get to see behind the curtain. You don't get to see all the details of the rise and fall. You just get to see them walking in and out of the buildings. You don't get to see what happens inside, and so this is a nice peek behind the curtain.
Yes, indeed. Okay, I believe we have some questions from the audience.
Anybody? Hey, what's up, dude?
Thanks. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Is there a specific TV show or movie that inspired you to become an actor?
When I was a kid, I loved Home Alone. Such a classic. Home Alone 2 actually is even better than Home Alone 1. You disagree? Okay, you're a fan of the classic, the original. I feel you. I think it was Home Alone. Yeah, I love that movie. Because you realize, that's just a kid. I'm a kid. Put me in. But then it's such a wild, dream. You don't feel like it can happen. But I don't feel like actors are special. You're just people. You have to work really hard to break into it. But I'm lucky that I was put in a position with the help of my parents to claw my way in.
Great. Next question.
Hi.
Amanda.
Yes. My question is, can you recall the moment when you found out that you got the role?
Yes, I can. Good question. This process to get this show was I did a chemistry read just like this scene that we watched with Bella, and I thought it went great. And Bella afterwards texted me and said, "Good job in there." And I said, "Thanks, you too. I mean, of course you did great. You're you," which is a line that my character says in the show. Or no, it's a line that she says. She says, I say, "You're so good in there," and she goes, "Thanks, you were too. I mean, of course you were good. You're you." And so I texted her that, kind of playing on the line, and then she texted me and said something like, "Table reads on Monday." And I was like, "Okay, did I get it? Did I get the job?" And she, of course, couldn't tell me, but I was like, "Oh, I'm feeling like maybe I got the job because of that text." And then I got the call, but I already felt like it was on, but I had to get that official confirmation.
Yeah, it really mirrors the interaction in the
It's
series.
so meta.
That's strange.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Okay, we got one more question right here.
Hi, Carter. I was wondering, do you ever wish that you had gone to college, and if you did, what would be your major?
Good question again. Yeah, I didn't go to college. That's true. Sorry, Grandpa. But I do feel like I missed out on that experience. You went to college, didn't you? It was fun. Mostly, like, I'm terrible at beer pong, and I feel like I missed out on that. Yeah, I feel like I didn't get that education at all. I'm terrible. But I think I would have studied, maybe something in, maybe film. I just love movies. And I've been fortunate to be able to sit in on some film classes because a friend of mine's a teacher at AFI. And I've crashed his class a few times, and it's just incredible. So I probably would have stayed in the industry. Yeah. Thanks for that.
Maybe the Famous in Love rap party, there could be some beer pong. You're continuing the education.
I need to practice.
Well, thanks so much for joining us. Before we let you go, could you remind everyone where they can catch Famous in Love?
Oh, yeah. Famous in Love is on Freeform, and it comes out April 18th after Pretty Little Liars, which you'll be watching anyway, so just keep the TV on. I'll see you there.
All right, thanks so much. Let's give it up for Carter.